some of you know that I also teach biblical Hebrew, right? So I want to say this. The Hebrew word for righteousness is zedek. The Hebrew word for righteousness is zedek. Zedek is spelled in biblical Hebrew, Zadeh, Dalet, Kof. Zadeh, Dalet, Kof. It's a compound word.
Mm-hmm.
The first part of the word for righteousness in Hebrew is Zad or Zedah, which in Hebrew is a hunter. If you want to say hunt in Hebrew or a hunter, it's Zedah. Why is it that the Hebrew word for righteousness is rooted in the Hebrew word for hunting or pursuing? Keep that in mind. The last letter in the word righteousness is the letter Kof. The letter Kof. The letter Kof means to emulate. When you look up the letter Kof in a dictionary, it says to encircle. To encircle. But what we don't realize is that that definition is not literal, because when you circle something, you are observing it. You ever watch like old school karate fight flicks where two masters are about to fight, and before they fight, what do you always see them doing in the old kung fu flicks? They circle each other.
Yep.
Because what are they doing? They're sizing each other up.
Mm-hmm.
They're studying one another. So to encircle something conceptually means to study it. So the Hebrew letter Kof means to observe, to emulate, or to study. To observe, to emulate, or to study. So watch this. The word for righteousness in Hebrew is literally composed of the word zedah, which is to hunt or to pursue, and then the Hebrew letter Kof, which means to emulate. By the way, the Hebrew letter Kof is the initial letter in the Hebrew word kadosh, holy. When you begin to learn the Hebrew language, you will realize that the first letter in any given Hebrew name, it is the foundation stone in the word of that name. Just like the first thing you lay at a construction site is the foundation stone, the first letter in any Hebrew word represents the foundation stone of that word's meaning. So in the Hebrew letter Kuf, which is the initial or first letter in the word kadosh, remember kadosh means to be holy.
Holy, yeah.
Or to be set apart, some people say, right? So watch this. The word zedek, which is translated in the Bible as righteousness, in Hebrew, it's a compound. The first part, zedah, means to hunt or pursue. And the last letter, kof, means holiness. So the word for righteousness in Hebrew literally means he or she who is in pursuit of holiness. Isn't that far more deep than us saying righteousness? Isn't that far more explicit and descriptive than us saying obeying the laws? This is why we have to come back to the language, because the language shows us more about our own culture and even about our God.